if you got a minute, I want you to think about something with me. So my best friend a few months ago had a pizza that she was trying to make in the oven, and it was on the rack and it started to fall apart, and she was so upset, literally in tears, because she'd had a horrible day and just wanted her pizza. You know how that is. And so I said, hold on, we'll figure it out. And I got it out of there and I put it in her cast iron and we cooked it in there and it came out perfect. And just Saturday, she said to me, cooking my pizza in the cast iron has been a game changer. So I guess it's okay that everything fell apart a couple months ago because I learned to do it in a way that's better. And man, isn't life like that? Sometimes it feels like things are falling apart, and sometimes it doesn't feel that way. They are falling apart. And we cry and we rage and we hurt and we hate it. But if in those moments we will stop and think, okay, how can I do this differently? Sometimes out of what fell apart, something better will come to be. I'm a big believer that issues are incubators for innovation. If you will switch your perspective, instead of being like, everything is falling apart right now, how can I put it back together in a way that's even better so that next time there's not even an option for it to fall apart? And I think right now for me, in our current political climate, and life in general, and I'm looking at this from the perspective of somebody with privilege, you know? I mean, I'm aware of the privilege that my skin gives me. So when I say this, I'm saying it as a person of privilege, but I look at it like this. When I look around and everything's falling apart, like our freaking government, and I look at it and I think, first, about me. When I look at the issues in this country, what do I need to fix about myself to make it better? Where am I leaning into privilege instead of fighting for rights for everybody? What are preconceived ideas that I have, prejudices, like internalized racism that may still be lurking in the corners, because I don't want any of that in my heart or in my mind. So how do I fix me first? Secondly, how do I fix us? As in, other people of privilege who I can speak into their life, who are around me. Am I educating them? Am I forcing them into uncomfortable conversations? Am I being a part of the echo chamber? Or am I getting in the echo chamber with a big bell and saying, no, this is wrong. This isn't right. We can't be like this. We have to stand up. We have to do what is right. And then, so it's me, us, and then them. And by them, I mean the broken systems. Now, I do want to say this. The system in this country is not broken. It's working exactly as it was planned to, which is to have marginalized people, Black people, minorities, women, all of the different groups. It wants them to be oppressed. So it's not broken in the sense that it is working the way it was created to, but it is broken in the sense of the purpose behind it is broken. Does that make sense? So when I look at systems, what can we do to change that? How can I change it? What does that mean? Does that mean I use my creativity on social media and my voice on there? Does it mean that I organize protests, boycotts, petitions, that I work for the Democratic headquarters here, volunteering, doing what I can? Does it mean I go into politics? Does it also mean things like pushing against that system by loving well the people who are being oppressed by it, by standing in front of them if there's a violent situation, knowing that my privilege can be a shield to protect them? What does that mean? Because my heart in this season and in this country, as everything seems to be falling apart, and it has been for years, and I want to be clear, I realize that this is not new. This is the culmination of a bunch of crap, right? And I can't even know the full depth of it as somebody of privilege. But as we are in this crap show of a moment, I want to look around at these issues and innovate and say, what can I do to make all of this, gestures and everything, work in a new way that is better than before and can safeguard against this happening again. You know? And I know that's really big picture thinking, and surely you can apply this lesson to small things in your life too. I hope you do. I hope it speaks to you and is a word for you. But I just encourage you that where it looks like things are falling apart, look inside. If you're a person of faith, ask God, think it through, and then innovate. Because we need innovators right now. We really do. Because things have got to change. These systems, they only work for one set of people. And it can't be that way anymore. It can't. And we have to fight against it. I see so many people who are being oppressed, and it just breaks my heart. And I think, God, what can I do? Like, please help me, show me, inspire me, help me to innovate. I am a person of faith, so I do pray about that. But, even if you don't, however that looks for you to reach for inspiration, especially, again, if you're a person of privilege like myself, we have to do that. So be encouraged. You're not alone in seeing that everything's falling apart. But also, I really do believe that if we will shift our perspective in the midst of our rage and our grief, and those things are needed and necessary, and our fears and all of that, and we will shift our perspective to a perspective of purpose in the middle of all the problems and say, how can I innovate in this issue to make things better for everybody and help safeguard against it happening again? I think if we will do that, we will see a change. And, like Miss Harris told us, when we fight, we win, even if it takes a long time. And I don't know about you, but I'm in this for the long game until there's liberty and justice for all. So I know this is long. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. You have my heart.